Juventus is the second oldest of its kind still active in the country after Genoa's football section and has spent its entire history, with the exception of the 2006-07 season, in the top-flight First Division, known as Serie A since 1929. This is reflected in the club's contribution to the national team, uninterrupted since the second half of the 1920s and recognized as one of the most influential in international football, having performed a decisive role in the World Cup triumphs of 1934, 1982 and 2006. The club's fan base is larger than any other Italian football club and is one of the largest worldwide, as support for Juventus is widespread throughout the country and abroad, mainly in countries with a significant presence of Italian immigrants. Juventus is the most successful club in Italian football and one of the most awarded globally. After their triumph in the Intercontinental Cup the same year, the club also became the first in football history, and remains the only one at present, to have won all possible official continental competitions and the world title, according to the all-time ranking published in 2009 by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics, an organization recognized by FIFA, based on clubs' performance in international competitions. Juventus were Italy's best club and second in Europe of the 20th century. History early years Juventus were founded as Sport Club Juventus in late 1897 by pupils from the Massimo D'Azeglio Lyceum School in Turin, but were renamed as Football Club Juventus 2 years later. The club joined the Italian Football Championship during 1900. In 1904, the businessman Ajmone Marsan revived the finances of the Football Club Juventus, making it also possible to transfer the training field from Piazza D'Arma to the more appropriate Velodrome Umberto I. During this period, the team wore a pink and black kit. Juventus first won the league championship in 1905 while playing at their Velodrome Umberto I ground. By this time the club colors had changed to black and white stripes, inspired by English side Notts County. There was a split at the club in 1906, after some of the staff considered moving Juve out of Turin. President Alfred Dick was unhappy with this and left with some prominent players to found FBC Torino, which in turn spawned the Derby della Mole. Juventus spent much of this period steadily rebuilding after the split, surviving the First World War. League dominance Fiat owner Edoardo Agnelli gained control of the club in 1923 and built a new stadium. This helped the club to its second Scudetto, league championship, in the 1925-26 season, after beating Alba Roma with an aggregate score of 12-1. Antonio Vojak's goals were essential that season. Juventus moved to the Stadio Comunale, but for the rest of the 1930s and the majority of the 1940s they were unable to recapture championship dominance. After the Second World War, Gianni Agnelli was appointed honorary president. The club added 2 more league championships to its name in the 1949-50 and 1951-52 seasons, the latter of which was under the management of Englishman Jesse Carver. 2 new strikers were signed during 1957-58, Welshman John Charles and Italian Argentine Omar Savori, playing alongside longtime member Giampiero Boniperta. That season saw Juventus awarded with the Golden Star for sport excellence to wear on their shirts after becoming the first Italian side to win 10 league titles. In the same season, Savori became the first ever player at the club to win the European Footballer of the Year. The following season, they beat Fiorentina to complete their first league and cup double, winning Serie A and Coppa Italia. Boniperta retired in 1961 as the all-time top scorer at the club, with 182 goals in all competitions, a club record which stood for 45 years. During the rest of the decade, the club won the league just once more in 1966-67. However, the 1970s saw Juventus further solidify their strong position in Italian football. Under former player Cestmir Vike, they won the Scudetto in 1971-72 and 1972-73, with players such as Roberto Bottega, Franco Cascia and Jose Altafini breaking through. During the rest of the decade, they won the league twice more, with defender Gaetano Sire contributing significantly. The later win was under Giovanni Trapattoni, who also led the club to their first ever major European title, the UEFA Cup, in 1977 and helped the club's domination continue on into the early part of the 1980s. During Trapattoni's tenure, many Juventus players also formed the backbone of the Italy national team during Enzo Bearzot's successful managerial era, including the 1978 World Cup, UEFA Euro 1980 and 1982 World Champion squad. odds. European stage The Trapattoni era was highly successful in the 1980s and the club started the decade off well, winning the league title 3 more times by 1984. This meant Juventus had won 20 Italian league titles and were allowed to add a second golden star to their shirt, thus becoming the only Italian club to achieve this. Around this time, the club's players were attracting considerable attention and Paolo Rossi was named European Footballer of the Year following his contribution to Italy's victory in the 1982 World Cup, where he was named Player of the Tournament. Frenchman Michel Platini was also awarded the European Footballer of the Year title for 3 years in a row in 1983, 1984 and 1985, which is a record. Juventus are the only club to have players from their club winning the award in 4 consecutive years. It was Platini who scored the winning goal in the 1985 European Cup final against Liverpool, but this was marred by a tragedy which changed European football, with the exception of winning the closely contested Italian Championship of 1985-86, the rest of the 1980s were not very successful for the club, as well as having to contend with Diego Maradona's Napoli. Both of the Milanese clubs, Milan and Internazionale, won Italian championships. However, Juventus did win a Coppa Italia UEFA Cup double in 1990 under the guidance of former club legend Dino Zoff. In 1990, Juventus also moved into their new home, the Stadio dell'Alpi, which was built for the 1990 World Cup. Despite the arrival of Italian star Roberto Baggio later that year for a world record transfer fee, the early 1990s under Luigi Maifreda and subsequently Trapattoni once again also saw little success for Juventus, as they only managed to win the UEFA Cup in 1993. Another Champions League title and first Supercoppa Italiana Marcello Lippi took over as Juventus manager at the start of the 1994-95 campaign. His first season at the helm of the club was a successful one, as Juventus recorded their first Serie A championship title since the mid-1980s, as well as the Coppa Italia. The crop of players during this period featured Ciro Ferrara, Roberto Baggio, Gianluca Vialli and a young Alessandro Del Piero. Lippi led Juventus to their first Supercoppa Italiana and the Champions League the following season, beating Ajax on penalties after a 1-1 draw in which Fabrizio Ravanelli scored for Juventus. The club did not rest long after winning the European Cup. More highly regarded players were brought into the fold in the form of Zinedine Zidane, Filippo Inzaghi and Edgar. At home, Juventus won the 1996-97 and 1997-98 Serie A titles, as well as the 1996 UEFA Super Cup and the 1996 Intercontinental Cup. Juventus reached the 1997 and 1998 Champions League finals during this period, but lost out to Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid respectively. Juventus were also part of an all-Italian Champions League final in 2003, but lost out to Milan on penalties after the game ended in a 0-0 draw. At the conclusion of the following season, Lippi was appointed as the Italy national team's head coach, bringing an end to one of the most fruitful managerial spells in Juventus history. Calciopoli scandal Fabio Capello was appointed as Juventus coach in 2004 and led the club to 2 more consecutive Serie A titles. In May 2006, Juventus became one of the 5 clubs linked to a 2006 Italian football scandal, the result of which saw the club relegated to Serie B for the first time in its history. The club was also stripped of the 2 titles won under Capello in 2005 and 2006. Many key players left following the demotion to Serie B, including Lilian Thuram, star strikers Zlatan Ibrahimovic and defensive stalwart Fabio Cannavaro. However, other big-name players such as Alessandro Del Piero, Gianluigi Buffon, David Trezeguet and Pavel Nedved remained to help the club return to Serie A, while youngsters from the Primavera youth team, such as Sebastian Giovinco and Claudio Marchisio, were integrated into the first team. Juventus won the Cadetti Serie B championship and gained promotion straight back up to the top division as league winners after the 2006-07 season, as captain Del Piero claimed the top scorer award with 21 goals. As early as 2010, Juventus considered challenging the stripping of their Scudetti from 2005 and 2006, dependent on the results of trials connected to the 2006 scandal. Subsequent investigations found in 2011 that Juventus relegation in 2006 was without merit. When former general manager Luciano Maggi's conviction in criminal court in connection with the scandal was thrown out by an appeals court in 2015, the club sued the Italian Football Federation (FIGC) for €443 million for damages caused by their 2006 relegation. FIGC president Carlo Tavecchio offered to discuss discuss reinstatement of the lost Scudetti in exchange for Juventus dropping the lawsuit. Return to Serie A. After returning to Serie A in the 2007-8 season, Juventus appointed Claudio Ranieri as manager. They finished in third place in their first season back in the top flight and qualified for the Champions League third qualifying round in the preliminary stages. Juventus reached the group stages, where they beat Real Madrid in both home and away legs, before losing in the knockout round to Chelsea. Ranieri was sacked following a string of unsuccessful results and Ciro Ferrara was appointed as manager on a temporary basis for the last two games of the 2008-9 season, before being subsequently appointed as the manager for the 2009-10 season. Zaccheroni could not help the side improve, as Juventus finished the season in 7th place in Serie A. For the 2010-11 season, Jean-Claude Blanc was replaced by Andrea Agnelli as the club's president. Agnelli's first action was to replace Zaccheroni and director of sport Alessio Secco with Sampdoria manager Luigi Delnera and director of sport Giuseppe Marotta. However, Delnera failed to improve their fortunes and was dismissed. Former player and fan favorite Antonio Conte, fresh after winning promotion with Siena, was named as Delneri's replacement. In September 2011, Juventus relocated to the new Juventus Stadium. Historic back-to-back double . With Conte as manager, Juventus went unbeaten for the entire 2011-12 Serie A season. Towards the second half of the season, the team was mostly competing with northern rivals Milan for first place in a tight contest. Juventus won the title on the 37th match day after beating Cagliari 2-0 and Milan losing to Internazionale 4-2. After a 3-1 win in the final match day against Atalanta, Juventus became the first team to go the season unbeaten in the current 38-game format. Other noteworthy achievements included the biggest away win, 5-0 at Fiorentina, best defensive record, 20 goals conceded, fewest ever in the current league format, in Serie A and second best in the top 6 European leagues that year. In 2013-14, Juventus won a third consecutive Scudetto with a record 102 points and 33 wins. The title was the 30th official league championship in the club's history. They also achieved the semi-finals of Europa League, where they were eliminated at home against 10-man Benfica's Catenaccio, missing the final at the Juventus Stadium. In 2014-15, Massimiliano Allegri was appointed as manager, with whom Juventus won their 31st official title, making it a fourth straight, as well as achieving a record 10th Coppa Italia for the double. The club also beat Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the Champions League 3-2 on aggregate to face Barcelona in the final in Berlin for the first time since the 2002-3 Champions League. Juventus lost the final to Barcelona 3-1 after an early fourth-minute goal from Ivan Rakitic, followed by an Alvaro Morata equalizer in the 55th minute. Then Barcelona took the lead again with a goal from Luis Suarez in the 70th minute, followed by a final minute goal by Neymar as Juventus were caught out on the counterattack. On the 14th of December 2015, Juventus won the Serie A Football Club of the Year award for the 2014-15 season, the fourth time in succession. On the 21st of May, the club then won the Coppa Italia for the 11th time and their second straight title, becoming the first team in Italy's history to complete Serie A and Coppa Italia doubles in back-to-back seasons. On the 17th of May 2017, Juventus won their 12th Coppa Italia title in a 2-0 win over Lazio, the first team to win 3 consecutive championships. 4 days later on the 21st of May, Juventus became the first team to win 6 consecutive Serie A titles. Colors, badge, nicknames and mascot . Juventus have played in black and white striped shirts, with white shorts, sometimes black shorts since 1903. Originally, they played in pink shirts with a black tie. The father of one of the players made the earliest shirts, but continual washing faded the color so much that in 1903 the club sought to replace them. Juventus asked one of their team members, Englishman John Savage, if he had any contacts in England who could supply new shirts in a color that would better withstand the elements. He had a friend who lived in Nottingham, who being a Notts County supporter, shipped out the black and white striped shirts to Turin. Juventus have worn the shirts ever since, considering the colors to be aggressive and powerful. Juventus's official emblem has undergone different and small modifications since the 1920s. The last modification of the Juventus badge took place before 2004-05 season. Since then, the emblem of the team has been a black and white oval shield of a type used by Italian ecclesiastics. It is divided in 5 vertical stripes, 2 white stripes and 3 black stripes, inside which are the following elements, while in its upper section the name of the society superimposed on a white convex section. Over silver golden curvature, gold for honor. The white silhouette of a charging bull is in the lower section of the oval shield, superimposed on a black Old French shield, and the charging bull is a symbol of the Commune of Turin. There is also a black silhouette of a mural crown above the black spherical triangle's base. This is a reminiscence to Augusta Taurinorum, the old city of the Roman era, which the present capital of Piedmont region is its cultural heiress. Juventus was the first team in association football history to adopt a star who added one above their badge in 1958 to represent their 10th Italian football championship and Serie A title, at the time, and has since become popularized with other clubs as well. In the past, the convex section of the emblem had a blue color, another symbol of Turin, and, furthermore, its shape was concave. The Old French shield and the mural crown, also in the lower section of the emblem, had a considerably greater size with respect to the present. The two golden stars for sport excellence were located above the convex and concave section of Juventus emblem. During the 1980s, the club emblem was the silhouette of a zebra, to both sides of the equity's head, the two golden stars, and, above this badge, forming an arc, the club's name. Juventus unofficially won their 30th league title in 2011-12, but a dispute with the FIGC, who stripped Juventus of their 2004-5 and 2005-6 titles due to their involvement in a 2006 Italian football scandal, left their official total at 28. However, they elected to wear no stars at all the following season. However, for the 2015-16 season, Juventus reintroduced the stars and added the third star to their jersey as well, with new kit manufacturers Adidas, in addition to the Coppa Italia badge for winning their 10th Coppa Italia the previous season. For the 2016-17 season, Juventus redesigned their kit with a different take on the trademark white and black stripes. During its history, the club has acquired a number of nicknames, La Vecchia Signora, the old lady, being the best example. The old part of the nickname is a pun on Juventus, which means youth in Latin. It was derived from the age of the Juventus star players towards the middle of the 1930s. The lady part of the nickname is how fans of the club affectionately referred to it before the 1930s. The club is also nicknamed La Fidanzata d'Italia, the girlfriend of Italy, because over the years it has received a high level of support from southern Italian immigrant workers, particularly from Naples and Palermo, who arrived in Turin to work for Fiat since the 1930s. Other nicknames include La Madama, Piedmont's for Madam, I Bianconera, the black and whites, La Zebra, the zebras, in reference to Juventus colors. I Gobbi, the hunchbacks, is the nickname that is used to define Juventus supporters, but is also used sometimes for teams' players. The most widely accepted origin of Gobbi dates to the 50s, when the Bianconera wore a large jersey. When players ran on the field, the jersey, which had a laced opening at the chest, generated a bulge over the back, a sort of parachute effect, making the players look hunchbacked. On the 10th of September 2015, Juventus officially announced a new project called J-Kids for its junior supporters on its website. Along with this project, Juventus also introduced a new mascot to all its fans, which is called J. J is a cartoon-designed zebra, black and white stripes with golden edge piping on its body, golden shining eyes, and 3 golden stars on the front of its neck. J made its debut at Juventus Stadium on the 12th of September 2015. On the 16th of January 2017, President Andrea Agnelli announced that a new Juventus badge would be introduced, revealing a video showing the introduction of the new badge. The badge shows the word Juventus on top, with 2 capital J's shown together in different fonts with a small opening between them to almost make a bigger J. Agnelli said that the badge reflects the Juventus way of living. Stadiums . After the first 2 years, 1897 and 1898, during which Juventus played in the Parco del Valentino and Parco Cittadella, their matches were held in the Piazza d'Arma Stadium until 1908, except in 1905, the first year of the Scudetto, and in 1906, years in which it played at the Corso Riumberto. From 1909 to 1922, Juventus played their internal competitions at Corso Sebastopoli Camp and before moving the following year to Corso Marsiglia Camp, where they remained until 1933, winning 4 league titles. At the end of 1933, they began to play at the new Stadio Mussolini Stadium inaugurated for the 1934 World Championships. After the Second World War, the stadium was renamed as Stadio Comunale Vittorio Pozzo. Juventus played home matches at the ground for 57 years, a total of 890 league matches. The team continued to host training sessions at the stadium until July 2003. In August 2006, Juventus returned to play in the Stadio Comunale, then known as Stadio Olimpico, after the restructuring of the stadium for the 2006 Winter Winter Olympics onward. In November 2008, Juventus announced that they would invest around €120 million to build a new ground, the Juventus Stadium, on the site of Del Alpi. Unlike the old ground, there is not a running track and instead the pitch is only 7.5 meters away from the stands. The capacity is 41,507. Work began during spring 2009 and the stadium was opened on the 8th of September 2011, ahead of the start of the 2011-12 season. Supporters Juventus are the best supported football club in Italy, with over 12 million fans are tifosi, which represent approximately 29% of the total Italian football fans according to a research published in September 2010 by Italian research agency Demos and Pi, as well as one of the most supported football clubs in the world, with 180 million supporters, 43 million in Europe alone, particularly in the Mediterranean countries to which a large number of Italian diaspora have emigrated. The Torinese side has fan clubs branches across the globe. Demand for Juventus tickets in occasional home games held away from Turin is high, suggesting that Juventus have stronger support in other parts of the country. Juventus is widely and especially popular throughout mainland southern Italy, Sicily and Malta, leading the team to have one of the largest followings in its away matches, more than in Turin itself. Club rivalries Juventus have significant rivalries with two clubs. Their traditional rivals are fellow Turin club Torino and matches between the two sides are known as the Derby della Mole, Turin Derby. The rivalry dates back to 1906 as Torino was founded by breakaway Juventus players and staff. Their most high-profile rivalry is with Internazionale, another big Serie A club located in Milan, the capital of the neighboring region of Lombardy. Matches between these two clubs are referred to as the Derby d'Italia, Derby of Italy, and the two regularly challenge each other at the top of the league table, hence the intense rivalry. Until the Calciopoli scandal which saw Juventus forcibly relegated, the two were the only Italian clubs to have never played below Serie A. Notably, the two sides are the first and the second most supported clubs in Italy and the rivalry has intensified since the later part of the 1990s, reaching its highest levels ever post-Calciopoli, with the return of Juventus to Serie A. They also have rivalries with Milan, Roma, Fiorentina and Napoli. Youth program The Juventus youth setup has been recognized as one of the best in Italy for producing young talents. While not all graduates made it to the first team, many have enjoyed successful careers in the Italian top flight. Under longtime coach Vincenzo Chiarenza, the Primavera under-20 squad enjoyed one of its successful periods, winning all age group competitions from 2004 to 2006. Like Dutch club Ajax and many Premier League clubs, Juventus operates several satellite clubs and football schools outside of the country, i.e., United States, Canada, Greece, Saudi Arabia, Australia and Switzerland, and numerous camps in the local region to expand talent scouting. The youth system is also notable for its contribution to the Italian national senior and youth teams. Players Current squad As of the 9th of February 2017. Note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Out on loan As of the 31st of January 2017. Note, flags indicate national team as defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Primavera Management staff Source, Juventus.com. Archive link Chairman history Juventus have had numerous presidents over the course of their history, some of which have been the owners of the club, others have been honorary presidents. Managerial history Below is a list of Juventus managers from 1923 when the Agnelli family took over and the club became more structured and organized, until the present day. Honors Italy's most successful club of the 20th century and the most successful club in the history of Italian football, Juventus have won the Italian League Championship, the country's premier football club competition and organized by Lega Nazionale Professionista Serie A (LNPA), a record 32 times and have the record of consecutive triumphs in that tournament, 5, between 1930-31 and 1934-35 as well as between 2011-12 and 2015-16. In addition, the club holds the record for Supercoppa Italiana wins with 7, the most recent coming in 2015. Overall, Juventus have won 62 official competitions, more than any other team in the country, 51 domestic trophies, which is also a record, and 11 official international competitions, making them, in the latter case, the second most successful Italian club in European competition. The club is fourth in Europe and eighth in the world world with the most international titles won officially recognized by their respective association: Football Confederation and Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA. In 1977, the Torinese side became the first in Southern Europe to have won the UEFA Cup and the first, and only to date, in Italian football history to achieve an international title with a squad composed by national footballers. In 1993, the club won its third competitions trophy, an unprecedented feat in the continent until then and the most for an Italian club. The club has earned the distinction of being allowed to wear 3 golden stars, Italian, Stelle d'Oro, on its shirts representing its league victories, the 10th of which was achieved during the 1957-58 season, the 20th in the 1981-82 season and the 30th in the 2013-14 season. Juventus were the first Italian team to have achieved the national double thrice, winning the Italian top-tier division and the national cup competition in the same season, in the 1959-60, 1994-95 and 2014-15 seasons. They achieved the double in the 2015-16 season as well. The Torinese side was placed 7th, but the top Italian club, in the FIFA Club of the Century selection of the 23rd of December 2000. Juventus have been proclaimed World's Club Team of the Year twice, 1993 and 1996, and was ranked in 3rd place, the highest ranking of any Italian club, in the all-time club world ranking, 1991 to 2009 period, by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics. Domestic League. Italian Football Championship, Serie A winners, 33, 1905, 1925-26, 1930-31, 1931-32, 1932-33, 1933-34, 1934-35, 1949-50, 1951-52, 1957-58, 1959-60, 1960-61, 1966-67, 1971-72, 1972-73, 1974-75, 1976-77, 1977-78, 1980-81, 1981-82, 1983-84, 1985-86, 1994-95, 1996-97, 1997-98, 2001-2, 2002-3, 2004-5, 2005-6, 2011-12, 2012-13, 2013-14, 2014-15, 2015-16, 2016-17. Serie B winners, 1, 2006-7. Cups. Coppa Italia winners, 12, 1937-38, 1941-42, 1958-59, 1959-60, 1964-65, 1978-79, 1982-83, 1989-90, 1994-95, 2014-15, 2015-16, 2016-17. Supercoppa Italiana winners, 7, 1995, 1997, 2002, 2003, 2012, 2013, 2015. European Cup, UEFA Champions League winners, 2, 1984-85, 1995-96. European Cup winners, 1, 1983-84. UEFA Cup winners, 3, 1976-77, 1989-90, 1992-93. European Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup winners, 2, 1984, 1996. UEFA Intertoto Cup winners, 1, 1999. Worldwide Intercontinental Cup winners, 2, 1985, 1996. Club statistics and records Alessandro Del Piero holds Juventus official appearance record of 705 appearances. He took over from Gaetano Sire on the 6th of March 2008 against Palermo. He also holds the record for Serie A appearances with 478, including all all official competitions. Del Piero is the all-time leading goalscorer for Juventus, with 290, since joining the club in 1993. Giampiero Boniperta, who was the all-time top scorer since 1961, comes in second in all competitions with 182. In the 1933-34 season, Felice Barell scored 31 goals in 34 appearances, setting the club record for Serie A goals in a single season. Ferenc Herzer is the club's highest scorer in a single season with 35 goals in 26 appearances in the 1925-26 season, record of Italian football. The most goals scored by a player in a single match is 6, which is also an Italian record. This was achieved by Omar Savori in a game against Internazionale in the 1960-61 season. The first ever official game participated in by Juventus was in the Third Federal Football Championship, the predecessor of Serie A, against Torinese in a Juventus loss 0-1. The biggest ever victory recorded by Juventus was 15-0 against Cento, in the second round of the Coppa Italia in the 1926-27 season. In terms of the league, Fiorentina and Fiumina were famously on the end of the Juventus' biggest championship wins. Both were beaten 11-0 and were recorded in the 1928-29 season. Juventus' heaviest championship defeats came during the 1911-12 and 1912-13 seasons. They were against Milan in 1912, 1-8, and Torino in 1913, 0-8. The intake of Gianluigi Buffon in 2001 from Parma cost Juventus €45 million, making it the most expensive transfer for a goalkeeper of all time. On the 20th of March 2016, Buffon set a new Serie A record for the longest period without conceding a goal, 974 minutes, in the Derby della Mole during the 2015-16 season. On the 26th of July 2016, Argentine forward Gonzalo Higuain became the third highest football transfer of all time and highest ever transfer for an Italian club, when he was signed by Juventus for €90 million from Napoli. On the 8th of August 2016, Paul Pogba returned to his first club, Manchester United, for an all-time record for highest football transfer fee of €105 million, surpassing the former record holder Gareth Bale. The sale of Zinedine Zidane from Juventus to Real Madrid of Spain in 2001 was the world football transfer record at the time, costing the Spanish club around €75 million. Contribution to the Italy national team == Overall, Juventus are the club that has contributed the most players to the Italy national team in history, being the only Italian club that has contributed players to every Italy national team since the second FIFA World Cup. Below are a list of Juventus players who represented the Italy national team during World Cup winning tournaments. 1934 FIFA World Cup, 9, Gian Piero Camba, Virginio Rosetta, Luigi Bertolini, Felice Barell 2, Umberto Caligaris, Giovanni Ferrari, Luis Monti, Raimundo Orsi and Mario Vargliani. 1938 FIFA World Cup, 2, Alfredo Fana and Pietro Rava. 1982 FIFA World Cup, 6, Dino Zoff, Antonio Cabrini, Claudio Gentile, Paolo Rossi, Gaetano Sire and Marco Tardelli. 2006 FIFA World Cup, 5, Fabio Cannavaro, Gianluigi Buffon, Mauro Camoranesi, Alessandro Del Piero and Gianluca Zambrotta. 2 Juventus players have won the Golden Boot Award at the World Cup with Italy, Paolo Rossi in 1982 and Salvatore Schillaci in 1990, as well as contributing to Italy's World Cup winning sides. 2 Juventus players Alfredo Fana and Pietro Rava represented Italy in the gold medal winning squad at the 1936 Summer Olympics. 3 Juventus players represented their nation during the 1968 European Football Championship win for Italy, Sandro Salvadore, Ernesto Costano and Giancarlo Borsellino. The Torinese club has also contributed to a lesser degree to the national sides of other nations. 3 Juventus players have also won the European Football Championship with a nation other than Italy. Luis Del Sol won it in 1964 with Spain, while the Frenchmen Michel Platini and Zidane won the competition in 1984 and 2000 respectively. Financial information Since the 27th of June 1967, Juventus Football Club has been Società per Azioni S.p.A., and since the 3rd of December 2001 the Torinese side is listed on the Borsa Italiana. As of the 31st of December 2015, the Juventus shares are distributed between 63.8 to Exor NV, the Agnelli family's holding, a company of the Giovanni Agnelli and CSA. P.A. Group, 5.0 to Lindsay Train Limited and 31.2 to other shareholders. 2.0 As of the 5th of July 2016, Lindsay Train Limited increased its holding to 10 and then Exor S.p.A. decreased to 6. 60.0. Since 2012, Jeep became the new sponsor of Juventus, a car brand acquired by Fiat after the 2000s global financial crisis. Along with Lazio and Roma, Juventus is one of only 3 Italian clubs quoted on Borsa Italiana, Italian stock exchange. Juventus was also the only association football club in the country member of STAR, segment of stocks conforming to high requirements, Italian, segmento titoli con alti requisiti, one of the main market segment in the world. However, due to 2011 financial results, Juventus had to move from the STAR segment to MTA market. The club's training ground was owned by Campi di Vinovo S.p.A., controlled by Juventus Football Club S.p.A., to 71.3. In 2003, the club bought the lands from the subsidiary and later the company was dissolved. Since then, Juventus did not have any subsidiary. From the 1st of July 2008, the club has implemented a safety management system for employees and athletes in compliance with the requirements of International OHSAS 18001-2007 regulation and a safety management system in the medical sector according to the International ISO 9001-2000 resolution. The club is one of the founders of the European Club Association, ECA, which was formed after the dissolution of the G14, an international group of Europe's most elite clubs of which Juventus were also a founding member. According to the Deloitte Football Money League, a research published by consultants Deloitte Touche Tohmatsu on the 17th of January 2014, Juventus are the 9th highest earning football club in the world with an estimated revenue of €272.4 million, the most for an Italian club. The club is also ranked 9th on Forbes' list of the most valuable football clubs in the world with an estimate value of $850 million, €654 million, making them the second richest association football club in Italy. The club was located in 2012 in top 50 sporting teams at worldwide level in terms of value. Juventus recapitalized on the 28th of June 2007, increased €104,807,731.60 shares capital. The team made an aggregate net loss in the following seasons: 2006 to date, €927,569, 2006-7, €20,787,469, 2007-8, net income €6,582,489, 2008-9, and net loss €10,967,944, 2009-10. After an unaudited €43,411,481 net loss was recorded in the first 9 months of 2010-11 season, the board of directors announced that a capital increase of €120 million was planned, scheduled to submit to the extraordinary shareholders meeting in October. Eventually, the 2010-11 season net loss was €95,414,019. In the 2012-13 season, Juventus continued to recover from recent seasons' net losses thanks to the biggest payment in UEFA's Champions League 2012-13 revenue distribution, earning €65.3 million. Despite being knocked out in the quarter-final stage, Juventus took the lion's share thanks to the largesse of the Italian national TV market and the division of revenues with the only other Italian team attended at the competition's final phase, Milan. Confirming the trend of marked improvement in net result, the 2013-14 financial year closed with a loss of €6.7 million, but with the first positive operating income since 2006. In the 2014-15 season, by the excellent sports results achieved, the 4th year in a row of Serie A titles, the 10th Coppa Italia title and playing the Champions League final, net income reached at €2.3 million. Compared to the loss of €6.7 million last year, 2014-15 showed a positive change of €9 million and returned to a profit after 6 years since 2008-9. Shirt sponsors and manufacturers See also Dynasties in Italian football. European Club Association. List of cultural icons of Italy. List of sports clubs inspired by others. Professionalism in association football. Notes references bibliography books. Other publications. External links Official website. Italian, English, Spanish, Indonesian, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic. Juventus FC at Serie A. English, Italian. Juventus FC at UEFA. Juventus FC at FIFA.